All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Monday.
It is coffee and Jesus time.
Yes, it is. And finicky dogs that don't like their breakfast today. I tell you.
She normally loves that.
I know. She's just waiting. I don't know what she's waiting on.
She ain't woke up yet.
All right. Anyway, today, Paul's final visit to Troas, Acts chapter 20, starting at verse 3b. He was preparing to sail back to Syria when he discovered a plot by some Jews against his life, so he decided to return to Macedonia. Several men were traveling with him. They were Sopater, son of Pyrrhus from Berea, Aristarchus and Secundus from Thessalonica, Gaius from Derbe, Timothy and Tychicus from Trophimus from the province of Asia. They went on ahead and waited for us at Troas. After the Passover ended, we boarded a ship at Philippi in Macedonia, and 5 days later joined them in Troas, where we stayed a week. On the first day of the week, we gathered with the local believers to share in the Lord's Supper. Paul was preaching to them, and since he was leaving the next day, he kept talking until midnight. The upstairs room where we met was lighted with many flickering lamps. As Paul spoke on and on, a young man from Eutychus, sitting on the windowsill, became very drowsy. Finally, he fell asleep and dropped 3 stories to his death below. Paul went down, bent over him, and took him into his arms. "Don't worry," he said. "He's alive." Then they all went back upstairs, shared in the Lord's Supper, and ate together. Paul continued talking to them until dawn, and then he left. Meanwhile, the young man was taken home unhurt, and everyone was greatly relieved. And now the commentary. The men traveling with Paul represented churches that Paul had started in Asia. Each man was carrying an offering from his home church to be given to the believers in Jerusalem. Having each man deliver the gift gave the gifts a personal touch and strengthened the unity of believers. This was also an effective way to teach the church about giving, because the men were able to report back to their churches the way God was working through their giving. Paul discussed this gift in one of his letters to the Corinthian church. See 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 through 21. The use of us and we shows that this was Luke again. This is where Luke again joined the group. The last "we" occurred in Acts 16. Jewish believers celebrated the Passover, which was immediately followed by the festival of unleavened bread, according to Moses' instructions. Exodus chapter 12, verses 43 to 51. Even if they couldn't be at Jerusalem for the occasion. The flickering lamps were candles and lanterns. The combination of the heat from the candles and the number of people gathered in the upstairs room probably made them very warm. This no doubt helped Eutychus fall asleep, as well as the fact that Paul had been speaking for a long time. Eutychus was probably between the ages of 8 to 14 years old, the age of a young man. But still, it's pretty cool. Fell to his death 3 stories, and he went home unhurt.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah, all of those things are never cease. Every time we read this, I guess I never really remembered that from the last time we went through here and he talks about it just so nonchalantly. Yeah, he fell to his death. He was dead, but Paul just picked him up and he was on his way.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what else to really say about that other than another miracle, God's miracle right there.
Yeah.
He's just all the time.
God does present day miracles too. We just got to open our eyes and be willing to see them. They might not be as big as falling 3 stories to your death and getting up unharmed.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I did hear a story yesterday. I went with our friend Sean to go pick up a refrigerator from one of their church members, and this man came out and he was older than us, and it was his mother's house, mother passed, a while ago. I think she was in her 80s or 90s, and I kind of joined in the conversation a little bit late, but I don't know if he was talking about his sister or his mom's sister or something, but the point of it was a woman went to the doctor, and doctor had told her she had ovarian cancer and needed to be worked on, like surgery-wise, like right away.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of church people came over, laid hands on her and prayed with her, and she told the doctor, look, I got a vacation scheduled to go to somewhere, and after that week of vacation I'll come home and we can get things ready and you guys can do whatever it is you got to do.
Yeah.
And so in between that time of seeing the doctor and going on vacation and having people praying over her, by the time she got back to the doctor, they did a new scan on her, and there was nothing left to work on. It was all gone already. So
it's wonderful.
the power of prayer and the power of God has always been and will always be around.
Right.
If we just have the faith to acknowledge it and accept it and ask for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
This kid probably wasn't standing there asking for it, but I can imagine a room full of people, everybody was kind of freaking out, and that's why Paul picked him up himself,
Right.
Kind of calm everybody down, and, everything worked out okay.
Right.
So, he just says, no reason to freak out. He's alive. He's okay.
Right. And the main important part is to give the glory to God.
Yeah. Yeah. So, don't ever give up,
Does it say pray without ceasing? Isn't that the...
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.